Hello everybody, it's Shady here, and for today's video we're going to talk about the death of Xbox and the fact that at this point I think it's inevitable that Xbox are going to leave the console space, and before I get into it, obviously like I said, this is Shady here. If you like the video, like, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. I'm more of a hobbyist YouTuber. I do all sorts of things like collection videos, full playthroughs, discussions, you name it, anything gaming related pretty much. So yeah, now that the YouTube stuff's out of the way, let's get into it. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, we're looking at every month, it seems like, when these new NPDs come out, which are basically the, that's the American numbers for, hardware, software sales and everything. We see that Xbox are just getting worse and worse. Like, I think the last ones, they said they're minus 47% compared to, I think, last year or the last quarter or something. And yeah, I think, let's just be honest, there's no salvaging Xbox at this point. We're basically halfway through this console generation, and yeah, this is the time when, like, your sales are meant to be peaking. We just recently found out that the PS5 over 60 million units, and it's just going to keep going. I know that Sony kind of made this stupid push for live service games, but it doesn't seem to have affected their sales. But yeah, you just look at Xbox with all the acquisitions and everything, and nothing is making a change. I think there's a number of reasons why this happened. Okay, let's just go over everything. I'm going to kind of try to break everything down as to why it's pretty much over. I think we just have to say this console generation has been probably the worst of any gaming company ever. When you consider the size of Microsoft and the amount they've invested. Obviously, the Xbox One was fucking terrible. And they really needed to come out swinging this gen, but then they stupidly decide we're going to release two consoles, the Series S and the Series X. Just basically annoying developers, expecting every developer to make two versions of every game, when you're not going to make any money or hardly anything in comparison to the competition. Like, that was such a stupid move. And then you look at their just insistence with Game Pass. Like, they seem to think that that's a replacement for actual exclusive content or getting games, and it just isn't. Like, a subservice isn't good enough. Majority of the games on the service are old games that no one wants to play. Ask yourself, if you're someone who's subscribed to Game Pass, have you played most of the games on that service? No, because that's the problem with subservices, and this is the big issue overall. I think they've invested all this money into acquisitions, like over $80 billion dollars. Buying Bethesda and Activision Blizzard. They bought Activision just to basically put Call of Duty on Game Pass as like this kind of desperate attempt to try to turn it around. Obviously, we know from the leaks that I think they said by 2027 or something, they need 60 million subscribers to Game Pass, and we know that Game Pass is at 35 million, and that's just lifetime subscribers, not even active users. And we know most of those numbers of Game Pass Core as well, because you have to pay for online, so it doesn't really count. And yeah, I just don't see Call of Duty turning anything around. If anyone, you're going to get a short-term boost to your sub count because people want to play the campaign and maybe mess about online. But I think the thing is, people who play Call of Duty, they just buy the game. It's just like people who play the sports games like FIFAs and Maddens. They'll just buy that one game, and that's the game they play. They're willing to just pay the £70 or whatever, because that's all they pretty much play. They'll pick up the DLC, like with FIFA, they'll play Ultimate Team. With COD, they'll just be playing online with their group of mates. They might dabble in one or two other games, but that's the game they play. So putting it on a subsurface just doesn't make any sense to me at all, and it's not going to change anything. So yeah, obviously, we've already seen that they're basically a third party at this point. They just happen to have hardware, you know. They've already ported games to PlayStation and Switch. We know that, you know, Call of Duty, all the Activision games, looks like the Bethesda games now are just going to be third party. And it seems like Xbox first party titles will probably just, you know, be a year or so later. And I'm just thinking with this Avowed delay, could they possibly be working on a PlayStation port? Who knows? Yeah, I really think, you know, it's down to what happens with Call of Duty. I think the hardware is definitely going. There are rumors that there's going to be a handheld, but I think that's just going to be a Windows device, and, you know, they're just going to migrate to the PC space, and that's basically what the device is going to be used for. I just don't see any point of having a console. You've got to put billions into the R&D, and like, why waste time making a next-gen system for it not to sell? You know, we know that they're already marketing as you not needing an Xbox with the Fire Stick thing, xCloud. You can get an app on your smartphone, Samsung TVs, or just buy the Amazon Fire Stick. So yeah, I think the future of Xbox, yeah, they're not leaving the gaming space, but they're just leaving the hardware space. And yeah, I think it's just time for these die-hard Xbox fans and influencers to just accept it. Because you see all these people online still like capping for Xbox and trying so hard to like get some kind of win, when it's just like, forget it, it's over, guys. They're just a third-party company at this point. But yeah, like I said, the future of Xbox now is hardware is going to be gone. I think they're going to phase it out. Like I said, they'll probably be like a Steam Deck type system. I think Windows will probably have some kind of like Xbox mode or something, similar to like the Steam Deck. Like, that's probably what this handheld is going to be used for, to launch that. And obviously, yeah, they'll probably have some kind of streaming device. They may possibly release their own like pre-built PC at best, or at least put the Xbox name on some sort of pre-built. Maybe they won't do it themselves. Maybe an Asus or something like that might be doing their own one. Or they may start off just doing their one, and then other people might do their own. But yeah, I think their future is PC cloud, and then third party pretty much. They're just going to be like a Ubisoft or an EA, really. You know, they'll keep Game Pass, I think, because without the hardware, you know, there's still a need for it. Or what I mean is they can kind of mitigate the cost. There's less loss without needing to have a hardware. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on the whole thing, you know. Yeah, I think, obviously, you know, just enjoy this Xbox hardware while you can. I myself, you know, if they do a handheld, I'm not interested in what they do going forward. They've just been let down too long. You know, I've been a fan since the 360 days. Owned a 360, Xbox One X, and I have a Series X. And yeah, I just have no faith in them, you know. Yeah, but I'm sure they'll do it right, because they have Activision, Blizzard, and Bethesda. But yeah, we just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, I reckon within the next couple of years, though, it will be the end of the hardware. There's rumours that they're going to stop even doing anything in Europe. They basically have no presence in Japan. It's pretty much just North America now at this point, you know. Like I said, they're literally just on life support, because Microsoft have a lot of money as a company. But we know Satya Nadella wanted to pull the plug on Xbox during the Xbox One gen, and Phil Spencer basically convinced him otherwise. So, but I think his patience has run out. We know that they've cut, you know, with their phones, they bought Nokia and everything, and just cut that easily. They had Mixer, which was basically, I think, meant to be their competitor to Twitch, and they just cut that straight away because there was nothing there. And yeah, I think it's going to be the same thing, pretty much. But like I said, they're still going to be around as a brand in the gaming space. They'll just be a bigger EA or Ubisoft, pretty much. So yeah, I just hope that they can get the games up to snuff. They need, like, how is it that they can't get a good schedule and whatnot for their games? Like, how is it like every first-party title has been delayed this generation and not come out up to snuff either? Like, it's a joke. You need to sort that shit out. Yeah, and if they can do that, I think if the games can be good, come out at a good time, be polished, they'll be fine as a third party, I think. But yeah, just won't be there as a hardware manufacturer. But I just hope that we do get someone to replace them at some point, because I don't like it just being Sony and Nintendo. Because obviously they occupy different spaces in the market, and I think one of the best generations, or one of the best battles, was the PS3 360 era, because Microsoft and Sony were battling it out, and we had so many great games, and both of them had these consoles at a really competitive price. They're both willing to take such a massive cut, release incredible first-party and third-party games, and I think we need someone who's able to keep Sony on their toes, because let's just be honest, this generation, Sony haven't had to really try. They haven't, like, in comparison to PS3 and 4, the first-party lineup, the first-party games haven't been nowhere near as diverse, have they? But yeah, I'm sure second half of the gen, Sony will be improved, and there's been great third-party stuff as well. Third-party dominant exclusives, so can't really complain. But anyway, I've gone on long enough. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you want to, and have a great rest of your day. Catch you in the next one.